Eredin Breacc Glas, the king of the hunt. Eredin is more than the leader of the wild hunt. He's the architect of its terror. A high-ranking general of the NL, elves from another world, Eredin rose to prominence not through loyalty, but ambition. Originally serving King Oberon, the king of the NL elves, he plotted a quiet coup from within, manipulating and eventually poisoning the king to remove any obstacles to his command. Under Eredin's leadership, the Red Riders transformed from an elite military unit into a force of interdimensional terror. He sought to use the hunt not just to enslave humans, but to conquer other spheres entirely. His obsession with the Elder Blood, particularly Ciri, stems from his belief that she is the key to controlling the Gate of Worlds and escaping the inevitable end of his home realm. What makes Eredin terrifying isn't brute strength, it's his strategic patience. He moves through worlds like a chess master cloaked in spectral myth, letting fear do much of the work for him. Few have ever seen his face, and fewer still live to tell of it. In battle, Eredin is agile and elegant, wielding sword and ice magic in perfect harmony. His duel with Geralt at the end of The Witcher 3 marks not just the physical climax of the game, but the collapse of the hunt's decades-long campaign across the continent. Still, even in death, Eredin leaves questions behind. Was he a conqueror, or just a desperate king trying to save his dying people? Imlerith, the executioner. Imlerith is brutality incarnate. Once a powerful elven warrior, possibly a sage or commander among the NL, Imlerith gave up whatever he once was to become a creature of war. His transformation over centuries left him massive in size, encased in ceremonial armor and devoid of mercy. Where Eredin rules with calculated force, Imlerith dominates with raw violence. He leads the hunt's raids on human settlements, burning towns, capturing souls, and executing those who resist. He is responsible for some of the Wild Hunt's most heinous acts, including the massacre of the Witchers at Kaer Morhen in their attempt to capture Ciri. Despite his monstrous exterior, Imlerith is more than a beast. He's a tactician on the battlefield and a loyal follower off of it, someone who believes in the hunt's divine purpose. His devotion to Eredin is absolute, and it's what drives him to face Geralt in a ritualistic duel on Bald Mountain. In one of the game's most memorable boss fights, Imlerith is slain by Geralt during the Festival of Lughnasadh. His death is a major blow to the hunt's morale, the fall of their strongest hammer. Caranthir Ar-Feiniel, the Navigator. Known among the NL as the Turn of Time, Caranthir is the most enigmatic member of the Wild Hunt. His role as Navigator makes him essential to their ability to travel between worlds. Without him, the hunt would be trapped in a single realm, limited, mortal. With him, they become gods of frost and shadow. Caranthir is a master of portal magic, elemental manipulation, and environmental control. Wherever he goes, winter follows. Blizzards, spatial rifts, and collapsing terrain are his weapons. He doesn't lead armies or give speeches. He creates the battlefield itself. His personality is cold, distant, and near silent. He speaks little, if at all, throughout the game. He is the embodiment of the hunt's inhuman side. Not cruel, not kind, just cosmically indifferent. Lore suggests Caranthir may have been a sage or philosopher before Eredin conscripted him. Some believe he had ties to the elven scholars who studied the conjunction of the spheres, a theory supported by his advanced mastery of world travel magic. His battle against Geralt involves rapid teleportation across terrain, summoned frost beasts, and reality-shifting attacks. He dies in the middle of a collapsing portal, his body swallowed by the very magic he once controlled. Gael's, the dissenter. Gael's is the anomaly. A noble NL who could have become a member of the Wild Hunt, but ultimately chose a different path. At the height of the hunt's power, Gael's was one of Eredin's closest allies. He supported the expansionist vision, believing in the NL's superiority over humanity. However, unlike Imlerith or Caranthir, Gael's retains something rare among the hunt: independent thought. His turning point comes during The Witcher 3, when he's shown proof of Eredin's betrayal, the poisoning of King Oberon. For Gael's, this isn't just a crime, it's sacrilege. He believes in NL tradition, in the sanctity of their monarchy. Eredin's ambitions have crossed the line from survival into megalomania. Rather than fight directly, Gael's act politically. He distances himself from the hunt and secretly supports efforts to stop Eredin from claiming full power. Through his decisions, Geralt is able to convince the NLA court to reject Eredin's rule, weakening the hunt from within. Gael's never pick up a sword, he doesn't cast a spell, but his betrayal of Eredin is arguably the most damaging blow the Wild Hunt receives. Nithral, the Gatekeeper. Nithral is a lesser general within the Wild Hunt, not one of the elite leaders, but still deadly enough to warrant a place in the pantheon of riders. He first appears early in The Witcher 3, during the Hunt's assault on the swamp regions of Velen. As the Hunt's vanguard, Nithral opens and maintains their portals, allowing wraith-like foot soldiers to spill into the world. He fights with a combination of heavy melee and frost magic, shielding himself with regenerative barriers and summoning ice golems to overwhelm Geralt. Unlike the other core members, Nithral has no backstory, no dialogue, and no clear motivations. He is a blunt instrument, a test of strength rather than a character with a defined arc. But his presence is important. He's the Hunt's first visible threat, and he sets the tone for what's coming: war, magic, and the collapse of natural law. He is defeated in the ruins of a stone temple, where his death momentarily disrupts the Hunt's access to that region, but only for a while. Geralt of Rivia, the reluctant rider. For a brief moment in time, Geralt of Rivia, the White Wolf, rode with the Wild Hunt. It wasn't by choice. This chapter in his life begins at the end of The Lady of the Lake, the final novel in Andrzej Sapkowski's Witcher saga. After being fatally wounded during a pogrom in Rivia, Geralt's body is taken by Ciri to the mystical island of Avalach, where, through elven magic and the powers of the Elder Blood, he is saved, or perhaps preserved. Sometime later, Geralt is abducted by the Wild Hunt, spirited away into another world by Eredin and the Red Riders. Their reasons aren't entirely clear. Some believe Eredin saw potential in Geralt as a weapon, or perhaps as bait to draw Ciri out. Others suggest that time flows differently across the spheres, and Geralt's disappearance was more metaphysical than physical. Though the games never show this period directly, it's alluded to in The Witcher 1, where Geralt reappears with no memory of how he returned or where he had been. He wakes in Kaer Morhen, scarred, dazed, and with amnesia. The implication is clear: his time with the Hunt cost him part of himself. The elven mage Avalax later confirms it. Geralt was once in their grasp, bound by Eredin's magic, perhaps even forced to serve during one of their raids across the spheres. Whether he fought for them or simply followed remains unknown. But the trauma of that experience lingers in his dreams and fragmented memories. Geralt's unique physiology, as a mutant unbound by the normal rules of human nature, may have made him a rare asset among the Hunt's captives, but even they could not bend his will forever. With the help of allies, possibly Avalach or even Ciri, Geralt eventually escaped their dimension and returned to the continent.